Today's our topic is life processes, where we will first discuss the digestion in various type of animals. First, we will take on unicellular, that is amoeba. The food when comes near to the pseudopodia, the cytoplasm pressurizes the pseudopodia to consume the food and forms a food vacuole. The digestion then takes place by providing acidic nature to the food. At the partial digestion, the food is in acidic nature, while when it comes to the complete digestion, the food then converts into alkaline nature, that is the basic nature. And then when the food is fully digested, the food waste is released out from the cytoplasm through the process of digestion, and the process by which the pseudopodia takes in the food is known as ingestion, and the process of taking all the nutrients from the food consumed is known as assimilation. Then the cytoplasm recovers itself after releasing the waste material outside by the process of membrane biogenesis. And also the process of taking small food particles inside and consumption of converting it into energy is known as pinocytosis, while the consumption of large food particle is known as phagocytosis. Now let us talk about the digestion in perimecium. In perimecium, at the opening, there are situated many hair-like ciliae, which forms ocean currents, and all the substance particles near to the opening then settle at the base of the opening and form a food vacuole. The food vacuole then travels in whole perimecium, and when it comes to the bottom of perimecium, it is in the process of partial digestion and is acidic in nature. And then when it goes above, the digestion is complete and is again in alkaline in nature. And when it travels like this 2-3 times, the food is then diffused, and then all the energy is consumed by the process of assimilation. Then it again goes to bottom and connects the waste material to the cytopage, which works as the anus of perimecium and releases the waste particle outside. Now let us talk about the digestion in human. In digestion of humans start from the mouth. When anyone intakes a food, the digestion starts at the buccal cavity, and then all the saliva are released from three glands that are located in our mouth. One at the bottom of the jaw, one on the on the wall of each cheek, and one at the bottom of the tongue. The saliva is released to make the food easier for breakdown to the teeth, so that the teeth could easily break down the food for further digestion. The sugar that is consumed is converted, and now this goes through the pharynx, that is the opening of the respiration. And we share same tubule for the digestion of food and also for respiratory gland. There is a flap opening on the neck, which let the food go to the esophagus, and when we respirate, this let the air into the pharynx. When we take in the food, this goes through esophagus, and then the esophagus goes through a continuous contraction and relaxation, that is easy that makes the food easy to go down to the stomach. And when it reaches to stomach, it forms as a bolus form, as various enzymes are being provided to the food in the esophagus. And when it reaches to the stomach in bolus form, stomach is also divided into three parts, that are fundus, cardiac, and then pyloric. In the fundus part, mucus is released continuously, and this mucus helps the wall of stomach to being protected from the acidic nature of stomach, as stomach has hydrochloric acid that has a pH of 1.4, and this might be destructive for the cell of the stomach, as if the cell touches the hydrochloric acid, this could burn all the cells and thus cause ulcer. And thus the fundus regularly releases the mucus, and also then the cardiac releases pepsin and renin. These are two enzymes that are used for the digestion of of protein, because digestion of protein cannot be done through any hydrochloric acid or the saliva released by our mouth. And then it reaches to the pyloric, which is the valve to connect it to the duodenum, that is the first part of the small intestine. And then the duodenum is also the first part and the part where the digestion completely gets finished. And the duodenum is also connected to liver. The liver releases bile juice from it, so that this could help the duodenum to digest the fat, as the fat has a covering around it which makes it protected from the HCl and other pepsin and renin from being digested by the bile juice. Bile salt is also released that absorb all the covering of the fat, and thus the bile juice then digests the fat. And also after this digestion, chyme is formed, which is formed after the addition of water and gastric acid. And if the water and gastric acid is mixed and during the continuous continuous movement of the alimentary canal, this could cause vomiting, and also further diseases could also be caused. And near the liver, a gallbladder is also situated, which has a work of storing the bile juice. It does not have a lot of function to do, thus it could be removed, as there are found many gallbladder stones that are made of cholesterols, and in the kidney stone they are made up of calcium, thus it could be dangerous. And if the gallbladder is released is removed from the body, the doctor suggests not to consume any type of fat or oily thing for 3 to 4 months, as the concentration of the bile juice is reduced for 3 to 4 months, but after that it becomes in a regular basis in a constant amount, and you can consume the fat or oily things easily. And also there is another body part that could be removed, as that is the vertebrae appendix, that is situated on the starting of the large intestine, and is that and it has no function, as before human beings were that herbivorous, so they had a part known as cecum, and then the cecum had no role when they became omnivorous, and thus the appendix could be removed, as appendix has no role in the life of a person now. And this might cause infections that cause severe pain, so these are cut down easily. After that, this moves to jejunum or ileum. This causes the absorption of all the nutrients from the food, and then after the nutrients is absorbed, this takes it to the large intestine, that passes through it, and then absorbs the rest of the nutrients and carry it to different part of the body for energy formation. And then at last it reaches to the rectum, where all the waste food is collected and is then released after from the anus.